So Bubba is how old now? How old are you now?
I'm 77 years
77.
old.
And when's your
Yeah.
birthday?
June 16,
Okay.
1948 to be exact.
1948. Okay. So tell us about you a bit. Just kind of your upbringing and things like that.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, my upbringing was in very humble beginnings. Um, well, sometimes I tell people I was born in frontier days. I'm talking about outhouses, no electricity, no running water, none of that.
Wow.
And we live like off the land, gardens, fishing, hunting, things like that. Um, I'm the second oldest, and right now I'm the patriarch in my family. My sister, who is Corliss's mom, is a matriarch. She's got me by a year and almost 2 years. And out of 11 children, most of us are like 2 years apart. And well, even though things were very dim as a child and all, there was much love displayed. It wasn't mentioned a lot, but it was displayed. I remember my grandmother because there were certain places that we moved around. We didn't have our own home and all that. I lived with her quite a bit, my sister and I. And she would make these rolls, and I was always trying to see them rise. And I never did see them rise, but they were risen. You know what I'm saying? And she would make churned butter and all of that. But her hair was always like braided, little short braids, like wild braids, and that and like a little bonnet cap, like they wore back in the days. My grandmother, she was like 20 years younger than her husband, Lemco Meekins, and I never really met him. I don't recall him at all.
You can tell her name.
My grandmother's name was Louisa Marshall, and she had several sisters. But even being very poor and living in those times, I came up under segregation.
Mm.
So when you're going through stuff like that, you never think that there's going to be integration
Mhm.
because I was the last graduating class of a school in Williamsburg called Bruton Heights. However, when I first went to school, it was a Masonic hall right beside our home church on Chickahominy Road, which is in Toanna. It's like 2 miles from the intersection off the main drag. And I remember walking up muddy streets, well, roads where we didn't have what you call streets paved and all, none of that. But um, in spite of everything, life was good. We did everything, a little bit of everything by hand. Hog killing season is about upon us. We killed hogs and stuff. And I did a lot of work as a teenager. I don't remember being like a teenager, except going to school and and participating in things. And everybody found out I had a natural knack for doing, let's say, working with my hands. The Lord blessed me with art. Uh, Later on in life, I went to school to get credentials. And I tell people that when they ask me about my training. It was just in me. What can I say? But the childhood years was something. My other brothers and sisters, they were kind of in the house most of the time. And I did a lot of the work. Maybe that's why my body's breaking down now. I'm talking about fetching water, which was like a mile away. And rather than taking buckets, I took what you call a foot tub, which is much bigger. It's like two or three buckets in one. So I wouldn't have to go back and make another trip. Um, and besides that, cutting wood, bringing trees and all of that. We had like a big stove in the main room and all. Um, the saying it takes a village to raise a child. Well, people in that neighborhood did help us out when hard times came upon us, and especially when we went to Williamsburg to go to the schools. And like I said, I went to my first grade at the Masonic Hall, which is right beside the church. I went there in September, and that following January, they put us on a bus and sent us to Williamsburg. And it was a total shock because we viewed Williamsburg as being the big city,
Mm.
you know,
Yeah.
actually the big city. But, my mother worked hard, and so did my father. He was, if I say a fisherman, he packed fish, he cleaned fish, he did all that at fishing industries in the area. But Jimmy get a kick out of this. Uh, this time of year, we all got to the point that the weather affected us, a little bit. Colds and things would start. Well, I don't know what age they started us off with, but we would have a hot toddy. It was in a
Yeah.
saucepan, like a pie pan, and you got actual moonshine, and you got like sugar and a lemon, and even the girls had it. So once you had that, it seemed like that cleared away all of the colds for the whole season. And it was a beautiful thing not to be sick. I'm telling you, because nobody wanted to be, just laid up in the house sick. Because we were very active. I was very active with people much older than me. One of the gentlemen is Clarence Taylor, the father of the great Lawrence Taylor. In our neighborhood, we had one of the finest or most famous softball teams around. So on Sundays, everybody would go to the certain field up by my aunt's place and watch uh, different neighborhoods come, play our home team and all of that. It was fantastic. Matter of fact, the head man in the church now that I attend, CBC World Ministry, is Osmond Taylor. He is like a pillow in the community. We had so many athletes, I mean, and everything else. But if I'm talking in circles a little bit, it's because I keep going back to moonshine. And the reason being, because, if you had a problem or something, it was either castor oil or moonshine, something down that line. And
Was that what Uncle Sam was making?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I remember.
yeah. And I knew where every still was, and actually the local law enforcement got jugs from these moonshiners, and they would look the other way. And of course, the law was the white man. They just said be on the lookout for the ABC men, they call them, the feds, because they would come in and tear these places up. So I played lookout man at times, because it kind of helped our neighborhood. But if I tell you this is the truth. I only went to the hospital once in my life growing up. That's because I almost broke my neck out of a big swing. All of my brothers and sisters, including myself, except Corliss's mother, was the only one born in the hospital. I had to always go get the midwife when my other brothers and sisters were, raised and all. Let's say I got my youngest brother by 14 years, so that's like a decade and a half. And I saw him today before I came up here to Maryland. And he was fantastic in every direction of, working with cars, building things and doing all that. But, this time of year was also important to me because my mother went into a coma this time of year. So, like everybody else that's having health problems or missing someone or whatever, I love to see the kids just having fun, just enjoying Christmas and all. Yeah, and I would look towards. We had one fantastic aunt who lived in D.C. Aunt Joe, and her name is Josephine M. Fair, and I would always come up. Matter of fact, she lived in Northwest, close to Howard University, and I had an uncle, her brother, who lived on Georgia Avenue in D.C. So when I came up to the city, I didn't really want to go back home, but it was crazy. I wasn't accustomed to concrete jungles. I was accustomed to trees, like I guess I was like a Tarzan, something like that. But I got used to it, and I did graduate from high school. I was always an artist. They would call on me to do everything. So after school, I graduated. I was trying to decide what to do, and my uncle up in New Jersey said, "Why don't you come on up here and go to school?" I said, "Man, it didn't cross my mind. I didn't want to leave home, and some of my other brothers and sisters didn't, needed help doing things because they were much younger." Okay, but anyway, my mother said, "Go with it," and believe me, she always put God first. Blessings upon us. We went to church on Sunday. Sometimes we had to wash clothes 2 and 3 times the same clothes to give you an idea of how poor we were. But there was talent, inward talent in all of us, uh, and the fact of never give up. You just keep going no matter what. Things look dim, just get up anyway. And well, I went to Newark, and I, let's see, in 1 year's time, I was in school doing fine, worked at 2 important jobs, and I came home and found out that I had a card from the Selective Service. Some of these guys, I don't know if they still have that, but anyway, they told me to report to Richmond to go into the Army. So uh, I said, well, I'm not getting up in the middle of the night peeling no potatoes and all that. I wasn't into all of that. So I said, the heck with it. I went and got on a plane and headed back to Newark, New Jersey. And after the riots in '67, with the cab drivers and everybody else, because I marched with them, uh, I was heading down Broad Street, South Broad in Newark, going to the Marine facility. And as I was going there, an Air Force guy approached me and said, "Why don't you come in here?" I said, "I'm no pilot. I'm not flying anybody's plane." And he challenged me, saying there were other jobs and a whole bunch of things. And then he mentioned something like, "You probably couldn't pass this test anyway." So I went in, I passed it, and I was out. But I tell you what, I never showed up in Richmond to the Army. So I don't know if they're still looking for me or not. They probably threw the card away. But I figured out once I was in, fine. But I was heading to the Marine Corps recruiting office because I love that uniform. Oh, the high collar, strutting, looked almost like what you call these? Yeah, them special military dolls and all for kids. I had an exciting career in the military. I got a chance to wear some civilian clothes with patches on the sleeve and not uniforms all the time. I was a physical conditioning and recreation specialist. And I went straight from basic to Homestead, Florida. Was there for a little over a year. And I was mentioned in magazines and newspaper articles, and then they made me an ambassador for the base because I was kind of popular. So I didn't have to even work for the Air Force. All I had to do was go to schools, talk to kids, and that kind of thing. I was like an HR person. Hmm. And so I enjoyed that. Then they sent me to a place called North Dakota, 50 miles from the Canadian border. I was at Grand Forks, North Dakota, and I kind of made Winnipeg, Canada, my home. Every chance I got, I went there. Because initially, when I first got there, I left 80-degree weather in Florida went to something like 40 below in North Dakota. I was sick for about a month and a half.
Mhm.
My body was not ready for that, y'all. I felt like they was trying to kill me. So I did go AWOL for over a month or so, and they offered the amnesty. So my sister encouraged me to come back, so I did, and all. That was that part of my career. But I kept doing art. If I did it on the side, and even today, I'm affiliated. I'm one of 13 artists sitting in Hampton here. There's a gallery called Art Central Gallery in Phoebus, Virginia, down here in Hampton, Virginia. And they call me a master wood carver. And guess what? My main subjects are African. I've been doing African uh, paintings and drawings and things for years.
Do you
Uh,
have any art you could show us or
Yes.
a website or where
yeah,
what can we see?
His
this
work,
is a
his
piece
work
I
is
did.
incredible. Incredible.
Yeah, and I do sculpture that hangs. It's relief sculpture. I also do it in the round. I work with clay, and I used to teach them. Can, can,
Wow.
can you see that?
Yeah, and what's your artist name? Like, is it under James?
Yeah, it's under my
James
regular
Meekins?
name right now,
Okay. Okay.
James Meekins.
Very
Yeah.
nice. Beautiful.
So you
Amazing.
can go on Facebook and check some of my older pieces. But I'm calling this part of my life my second life now because I can't turn around.
You can't
And
change
all
the
these
past.
ideas I've got, I've just got to create them and put them out there, you know? So I
Yeah.
don't know uh, what I'm going to do with it, but I'm collecting materials. So once I roll, I can do several, one behind the, behind the next. And Jeurney right here, she's an artist. And I raised six children. There's three boys and three girls. And at least half of them have that in their genes. I don't have to talk to them or teach them. They're pretty gifted.
Mhm.
So
Wow. That's where me, I told you my brother, he's an artist and it's like
yeah,
had a,
I was glad to hear that.
yeah.
Yeah, because the thing that it helped me to do was to unwind and relax. See, as a very young youngster, I stuttered and stammered quite a bit, and I thought I'd never grow out of it. I used to beat up on other kids if they laughed at me. Tell you the truth. Uh, by the time I finished high school, everything I prayed. I did a lot of praying because I didn't want
And
the
prayed
rest
and
of my
being
life to be like that. And
okay.
well, God answers prayers, maybe not in your time, but when the time is right.
Mhm.
And I've given away so much art. I encourage youngsters who are gifted, make something and give it to someone in your family or somebody else because you're not working, but they will treasure that and they'll hold on to it. I have some things given to me by some of my great nieces and nephews, and they are super talented. And I want to keep them encouraged, because finally, in the art field, it all depends on your talent. And I guess it's like any other thing that you're doing in life. Uh, if you've got a talent and you love it, just go with it. Uh, it was great to hear you talk about what 4 books. Um, Karen and I will get together and collaborate on a few things after she retires, maybe. She's been in 25 years. I only served 4. But I served 4, but I worked for the Army for about 30 years. So I guess that's government service too. I worked at Fort Eustis as an arts and crafts director and all of that. And I've worked in gymnasiums, fitness places, all of that. So I mean, I look back on all these memories, like here we are talking about it tonight, even, and it's like snapping your fingers. It's like now that they're behind it went by like a flash,
Hmm.
and I'm grateful that I can remember so much. And I could probably write 10 books if I was a writer, a person to do all of that. But I have some wonderful family members, gorgeous nieces, granddaughters, and just everybody. And they're all super talented. And most of them love what they're doing. Yes, indeed. But Jeurney and I have more than just a regular thing in common, being that she's served and I've served. And all of my boys, none of them served. And I'm saying, what's going on with this? But of course, she's making a difference, because can't nobody believe a little 5'2" black girl can carry that much weight and knowledge in her head and don't have to go around with a notebook or anything. I'm talking about dealing with jets, drones, or RPAs, and whole. I can't even start. But I tell you what, every place she's been, except Italy, I've been, and I pinned her over in Korea, South Korea, and we're talking about my bucket list. On my bucket list is Africa, because I've never even been. And yet, some of my friends who go on missionary works, they have shown them pictures and everything else. And some of my main tribes over there was from East Africa. I'm talking about the Maasai and the Samburu. And as a matter of fact, I've known some people from Ghana. And one of them was a professor at William and Mary here in Williamsburg, Virginia. But Africa is changing after I'm looking at the news now. This guy named Captain, they call him Capitan sometimes, Abraham Thoro, something like that, it's from Burkina Faso. He pushed the French out, and they're doing their own thing, trying to unite all of Africa. They're taking goals, they're doing roads, they're bringing in water and making vegetation grow and all of this stuff. This has never been done in history. I'm moved by what he's doing and not try to pocket stuff for himself.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's awesome sharing. I think it's amazing your life, your life so thus far, and you still got more time left, right?
Yeah.
What would
Yeah.
you say? I mean, going through segregation, growing up poor, making things of yourself, being a renowned artist, to have a gallery display and all the work you did, even for the military, is just remarkable. So we celebrate you and your amazingness. And yes, your beautiful, absolute beautiful family. Tell me about or does anybody else have any questions for him? We only have like 8 minutes left. Is there any questions?
I would like to make a
Yeah,
statement, a
sure.
comment. Cousin Bubba, you say that
Yes.
you're not a writer, but you're a great storyteller.
Yeah.
And you can get someone to write your story.
Yes,
Okay.
you can.
Okay.
Beautiful story, beautiful testimony, your experience and everything. That's a book right there. I'd read it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
you can record it. I have a friend, he helps people write their books, and he makes it easy for you. I don't know how much he charges, but it's really neat because you tell your story and then you put it all together, and he helps, like a legacy book or something like that. I'll get you his information. But
I think most of you have met my son, Edward,
Yes.
but we call him Jamal.
Yes,
He is
Edward.
in the business world and all. He's not on tonight. However, he has been doing great things in the business world. And he's an alumni of Johns Hopkins. And he still deal with the people that's, let's say, working on different majors and all like that.
He was the class president for his time there, so he's kind of got a little bit of tenure with continued that stuff there.
Yeah, so we were talking about maybe putting together a tape or something. I'll let him and Jeurney edit and do whatever they need to do to it.
nice.
I just learned
I
this.
just wanted to add that
Right now.
I just wanted to
learned
add
this on the
that Jimmy reminded me to record this, and I am so glad that
Yes.
we did, because
Yeah.
this is great
Yeah,
history.
you have your story recorded, Daddy. You're
Yeah.
life telling as you tell it.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Wonderful.
It's
Trail,
beautiful to
you
have
should
the
have told us something. I would have put it in a different context. So I mean,
Mm-mm.
It was natural.
Ah.
So you could
Anyone else have any questions for him? Otherwise, tell us your favorite food you're looking forward to for Thanksgiving.
Well, I just want to ask my dad real quick. You mentioned riots that you walked in or participated. Tell me about this. I didn't know about this part.
The riots in Newark, New Jersey.
Newark.
All right.
Yes, across the street from my grandmother's apartment building is where it started. It's the 4th precinct, right off of Belmont Avenue.
What were you
It all
protesting?
started, and the magazines and all put it down wrong.
Oh.
I mean, it was totally disgusting just to hear about it. But
What was it about?
a cab driver got involved with a policeman's wife, and he found out about it. And policemen, they beat him up bad and drug him into the police station, and they wouldn't let him take him to the hospital or anything. So a group started asking for the mayor, bring the mayor out. We want to talk to him, send the guy to the cab drivers. It's like going to a barber shop. The word gets around quick. So the word got around, then they start forming. And they came, and the mayor still wouldn't come out. So they went downtown, and I jumped in one of the first cabs. We drove down to Broad Street, and started, well, I'm not going to say rioting. We were down there yelling and screaming and going around, just peaceful. Protesting. There was a peaceful protest. They brought out the horses, the dogs, all of this stuff. Kept pushing us back and all. And next thing we knew, somebody was breaking into stores around the corner. And word was that they were guys that came over from New York. Because things just escalated in a hurry.
I saw the troll's face.
It really did. That was never solved. And after that, everybody started scattering and running and all. And people were shooting up in the air and doing things.
Oh, wow.
So people were setting places on fire, breaking into what's these cleaners and all, taking clothing and all this. Matter of fact, I grabbed a couple of white people walking. I said, these are my friends. I said,
That's right.
trying to push them in our car. Get out of here. Get out of here. And the cops were shooting all up these buildings and all. There was one guy, they gunned him down with an automatic gun, split his body in half. They shot him over 19 times.
Wow.
I mean, they were using everything. The policemen, they were shooting wildly. I don't know if they thought this would work or whatever. But all this was back during the same time, following things dealing with other events in LA, riots and everything else too. And my aunt and uncle, they had this African dance group and ensemble that were also mentioned on television. They were doing things all over the place. Matter of fact, Ballantine Beer, which is famous up north, sponsored them. So they had everything they needed. And I just enjoyed the beautiful array of everything that was going on up there. But over the years, they moved down here to Virginia because they had like 7 girls and 1 son. And things were getting a little bit more violent and unruly in those cities, because I went up to Newark after years and I saw this guy in an army uniform with an M16 turn around in the middle of an intersection, and cops were driving by. And then I walked into a drug deal with a cop and this druggie on the sidewalk. So I act like I was messed up myself just to go past her. So I've seen a lot, and there's always saying, when you go to Rome, act like the Romans. Had I even intervened, I might not be talking to you guys now. So, you just gotta let that spirit in you see things one way or 2 ways, but hopefully it's the right way to get you out of it.
Wow.
Yeah, a ton of street smarts to handle that.
Yeah, because a lot of the people that got problems, they're not locked up in no state houses and places anymore. You might go to a restaurant or grocery store, any place. It's no telling. Just be be on guard, or like they say in the Boy Scout, be prepared.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. I have a client going through that right now, randomly harassed. All right. Well,
Oh,
thank you everybody for joining tonight. You can stay and hang out. I just have to get to a client session.
Oh,
Um, yeah, but so whatever
thank
you'd
you
like
so
to do.
much for being
But
such a
this was
gracious
wonderful.
host. Thank you.
yes,
Wonderful,
thank
Yes.
you.
Nisi. Wonderful.
This is
Thank
truly
you,
great to
Auntie.
learn
Great
about each other.
job. Mhm.
Yeah, it's good to have some history. I had Family Feud pulled up in case we wanted to play a game, but this was
Mm.
wonderful.
It
So
was.
It was. It
thank
was
you,
nice.
cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah, great to
Mhm.
see you
Great
all.
job. Great job, Jendaya.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Great
yeah.
job.
Enjoy. Okay.
All right. Good night.
All right. Good night, everybody.
All
Good
right, good night.
night.
Body.
Good
All
night.
right.
Thanks.
All
Bye.
right. Good night.
Blessings to all my cousins.
All righty.
Oh, that was